Okay, and now we'll turn it over to the clerk or vice chair for the announcements.
This meeting is being recorded by the recording clerk for the purpose of taking minutes. Is there anyone else present who wishes to record the meeting? Seeing none. To attendees of the meeting, a sign-in sheet is being circulated.
See, always on.
The board asks you please sign in to indicate your attendance at today's meeting. The select board meetings can be viewed by going into the cable videos icon on the homepage of the town website.
Here
And
we go.
as far as our next select board meetings, on Monday, November 3rd, the board will hold a meeting at 7 p.m. And our next select board work session will be on Monday, November 10th at 6 p.m. Please check the meeting postings on the town website for information. Either join via Zoom or for the location of that particular meeting or work session.
Thank you. And just realized I have the wrong agenda in front of me, but if we'll turn it over if there are any citizen questions and comments. Anyone from the audience, even if you're not a citizen. Anybody wants to talk about anything not related to an agenda item? Okay. Alright, then we will jump right into the minutes.
I just like, I put it in this morning and
And I believe we have a few minutes to review and approve tonight. Anyone?
Vote to approve the select board minutes draft of 7/31/2025.
We can do all four, can't we?
Oh, we can do all four of them?
Yep.
Eight, go ahead, Marcia.
No,
I need to abstain from August 4th, because I wasn't here that one. And there's a couple typos in August 11th, but I don't think they're material, so we can ignore them.
Then I will approve, vote to approve the minutes of August 4th, 2025, August 11th of 2025, and August 18th of 2025.
Second.
Alright, so discussion, you said there were a couple typos?
Yeah, page 3,
Which one?
August 11th.
Alright, sorry, I'm back here.
I'm sorry, page 5, number 3G,
I don't see.
says, I don't have the whole thing open.
Oh, French. Assistance, LCD brightness. Light mirror.
Can I make a suggestion? If they're just typos, Bob, do you wanna just catch me afterwards and we'll just approve
Okay,
them
that'll be
based on-
easier, yeah.
Okay, any other discussion on August 4th, 11th, or
What am I looking
18th?
for? Time zone, date, view assistance.
Okay, all those in
brightness,
favor?
light mirror.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, then we need one more motion. I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of the select board meeting held on July 31st, 2025.
Second.
See the wrench that you
Any
talked
other discussion?
Format? For
All those
recording
in
mode?
favor? Aye. Any opposed?
Media.
Any
frame
abstentions?
rate.
Wasn't that your whole
Yes,
thing?
I abstain.
you said aye.
You wanna
I
just-
abstained for August 11th. I'm having trouble getting my board docs to come up, so I'm not paying the best attention.
Alright, let's do this over then.
BISIG2.
August 11th separate.
Well, hold on though, I'm not a stickler for the rules, but we just made and passed two motions. We can't just ignore that happened.
We can always go back to them,
Alright.
even in town meeting.
You want to re-motion and
How about-
ignore the votes that just happened?
How about,
Cause you voted in favor of August 11th.
how about if I move that we approve the minutes for July 31st?
Well, July 31st is done, that was a standalone motion, so we're done with that one.
August 11th and August 18th,
I'll second.
Any discussion?
right?
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, I need a re-motion on August 4th.
I'm not
He's
gonna
not
make a
gonna
motion
make
on
it, he
August
wasn't
4th if I'm
there.
gonna abstain, right?
Move to approve the minutes of August 4th, 2025.
Second.
Any discussion on August 4th? Alright, on the revote, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions?
Me, abstain.
There we go.
There we go.
Okay, now we will move on to
Okay,
new
that's where we're gonna
business.
go
Conservation Commission, the appointment of Benjamin,
to. It brings us to the menu, and then what am I looking for?
how do I pronounce it?
Kyle.
Kaela,
Kaela.
thank you very much.
I'd like to buy a vowel.
Sorry,
Um,
I'm so sorry.
and we did have the introduction a couple weeks ago. Any discussion
Recording mode. I see
before a
recording
motion
mode.
or any questions for Mr. Kyle?
I move to appoint Benjamin Kaya to the Topsfield Conservation Commission for a 3-year term ending June 30th, 2028.
Second.
28, 24, 24, no.
Any discussion or
Nancy versus
questions?
32.
Discussion is, thank you. Glad to have you.
Yeah, thanks you for donating
Thank
your
you for
time.
donating your time.
The background seems to match what's required, which is good. And
know, but
there
it should
was
be
the
the
recommendation from the
same
Conservation
rules and
Commission
memory.
as well. Just curious, well, it was on your application, but yeah, what your vision
It says
is.
it's giving me
how
delay,
you hope to fit in.
no.
If you ask me what I'd like to accomplish, I'd say I'd like to help residents use their land how they want, as long as it aligns with the
Yeah.
goals of the town as far as
Yeah.
conservation goes.
Fantastic. Any questions
Initialize
or
SD.
discussion?
That sounds good to me.
I initialize, oh,
Say thank you also for coming tonight.
Sorry,
To
I was
answer the
supposed to
question.
come the last time.
No,
I
we
thought it was
talked
either
about it.
or.
Yeah, it
It
is.
doesn't matter.
It
Okay.
is. It is.
This is fine,
Exactly.
and you have the added advantage of being at the very beginning of the meeting.
Okay.
Okay, then I'll take a vote on the motion. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed?
I just touched it.
Any abstentions?
This is how does my.
Congratulations, and to echo Boyd, thank you.
Thank you.
Alright,
Your time is important to us, and I
Thank you.
said that before, thank you.
Yes, thank you.
alright, next up, the Council on Aging, introduction of Michael D. Amarillo.
Mario.
Demario.
Demario.
I knew, this is not my night for names, huh? Okay.
This one's on me.
I hope everybody saw the application.
And
Any questions?
I have none.
Okay, I think as a reminder, what we generally do is an introduction on one night, and then if we think of more questions over the next 2 weeks, we can reach out.
Okay.
And then we'll take up a formal vote at our next meeting. Is there anything that we should know?
Oh,
Let me take
no,
it
I
off.
just said, you know, I moved to Topsfield in '98, so I've been here for a few years. Retired from the airline industry, and I've been getting involved with the COA. I do the Meals on Wheels, and I love the golfing program, you know. I'm retired, so I'm pretty much,
I just got
you know,
top seller on
Fantastic.
Amazon.
I'll try to help wherever I can fit in, you know, kind of have you know, I kind of do a little bit of everything, you know, so wherever I can fit in, I will help out wherever I'm asked to do.
Yes, I was pleased to see you wrote a separate memo, rather than just scrolling in the.
You
form.
saw my handwriting from the
And the volunteer Meals on Wheels, you're off and running already, so that's
yeah,
good.
Yeah, I like that program. I kind of like that because you get to see people that you don't
I'm
necessarily
gonna turn it off,
get out to come to events, you know, because they're
Yeah.
kind of isolated a little
Yeah,
bit, so it's
give
kind of
them
nice
some
to
social.
get out there and talk
It's
to them and
open.
see how
It's
they're
open.
doing. So I kind of like that part of the, you know.
Oh, that's a good idea.
I'd just like to say, Mike, you've been around with the COA long enough in the last few years that you kinda know what's going on.
Yeah.
And I would like to
Manual.
tell you that you're joining an organization
memory
that's
card.
very successful,
I know,
very highly thought of. And so you've got you've got some things to do to keep up with the trend because
Right.
they've got
Okay.
some good things going.
I know, that's why I wanna get
The
involved
clear
with
erase
it, I
all
want
files
all
from the
over I
memory
can.
card initialized.
Yeah, and they cover a lot of
Should I say
people
yes, no, or
without an
initialization?
enormous amount of resources,
That's
so
right.
Yeah,
good people like you are very important.
Perfect.
Also sounds a little bit like we're formalizing a relationship that almost already exists. So.
Yeah.
I just would like to say that we now have a full board of 11 people.
Process terminated.
Oh, good.
11 people, that's fantastic.
Good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So did we have a motion on this?
No, this is just the introduction
this is,
tonight.
we'll do it next time.
Okay.
Yep,
And 4 men.
but anyway, thank you, Mike.
okay,
It says reading the memory
Your
card.
time is valuable to us.
but I can help out.
Not just
Thank
us,
you.
the whole town.
That's good.
Thank you very much.
I'm predicting a unanimous approval when this comes back up.
If we
I
can vote it
wouldn't-
correctly next time.
It says reading the
All
memory
right,
card.
moving on to the next item, the appointment of Carl Ackerman. As a reminder, Carl was here, thank you very much. Carl was here 2 weeks ago, we did have a good 5 or 10 minute discussion with him, learned about his goals and his aspirations on the Board of Health. And again, he's recommended by the current Board of Health. I didn't know if there were any other questions or discussion that the board wanted to have.
I have none.
Nothing here.
I could have sworn like I had everything.
Vote
Me
to,
either.
This morning it was like on.
vote to appoint Carl Ackerman to the Topsfield Board of Health for a 3-year term ending June 30th, 2028.
Second.
We're gonna just burn this whole thing down.
Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions?
Oh my
approved.
god.
Alright, and the next item is more approvals, appointments. This was an oversight on our part.
Okay.
We were supposed to have included Noel, Cody Mumford and Melissa Kramer on
Like-
our large appointment.
Yeah.
That's not a good face to make when you just drank something.
Okay.
No, no,
Yeah,
it's good. It was a little hot.
it's like
June
after
30th,
Wednesday,
so
Monday.
These are
This week or next
June
week, like
30th.
this week.
June 30th, that was when we
Monday,
did
we'll figure
a
it
whole
out.
slew
Oh, okay.
of reappointments.
Yeah.
You can't.
Error on our
Open
part,
seats.
they were not
We were
on
supposed
it.
to do it, yeah.
Exactly. So they are currently on the seat, they're on the boards, we're just reappointing them.
I have no idea what's going on with this.
So we're gonna get some paperwork and wait a week, or we're gonna vote tonight?
No, we can vote tonight.
Vote tonight, it's
I
done
can't.
deal.
Move to appoint Noel Cody Mumford,
Oh, when is it?
Topsfield Cultural Council for a
Okay, we're gonna
3-year
call it.
term ending June 30th, 2028.
Second.
Or
Okay.
vote to reappoint? Third.
Alright, any other discussion?
The
All those in
the thing
favor?
wasn't
Aye.
done.
Any
It's coming next
opposed?
Monday apparently.
Any abstentions?
No.
Move to appoint Melissa Kramer to the Topsfield Cultural Council for a 3-year term
That's what
ending
a
June
Staples talking
30th,
about.
2028.
Second.
Any other discussion?
We'll talk
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
All those opposed?
okay.
Any abstentions?
Okay, good night.
And that will bring us to item E, the Emerson Homes. Just as an FYI, the project review update, they were planning to come and give us an update as we've been waiting for. Unfortunately, our contact was sick and more importantly to us was very courteous because she's also contagious. So did not want to come and infect us. We have rescheduled that for the 2nd of November, is that right, 2nd or 3rd?
Still waiting
Still
for
waiting.
them to-
Okay, it will be rescheduled, this is very much top of mind.
This is a big deal.
Can I just pause this for 1 second? Verizon isn't working either. It's
Yes.
showing October 6th, just so you know.
Okay,
That's fixable or not.
not right now.
Oh, okay.
So they're both done?
But they are still being recorded for
It will be
review later.
uploaded later.
Sweet. Okay, that brings us to item F, and by my bad calculations, we are 40 minutes ahead of schedule.
Like,
Item F, the North Shore Consortium Emerson Homes funding request. And for this one, I'm gonna have to turn over to Mr. Hartunian to remind us of the background on this. We did talk about it 2 weeks ago, but I know my memory's a little bit fuzzy.
So
this was just gonna be a very brief update following the presentation of the representative from Emerson Homes and Caleb Group. It was basically an application that they filed with the Home Consortium out of Peabody to obtain funding for the project. It's not asked from us, other than the clerk and I signed an acknowledgement that we did receive a copy of the application which was sent in. So just by way of update, the funding sources that they're putting together continue to evolve, and this is just one of many of those vehicles that they're using to fund the project. No action from the board, just an update.
Alright.
One question though, Kevin, and I know it is just an update, but I did notice in there it says monitoring affordability beyond HUD requirements will be the responsibility of the community in which the development is located. The only reason I bring that up is it seems that we have a new job with this then. Monitoring affordability.
So we have, we do, it's the state technically that gives us the number, the count, and it's usually every 10 years during the census. So during the years of the last census to the next census, as we add affordable housing units, we get credit for it. And if affordable units come off, it's not brought up until the next census.
It's the number, it's not like Topsfield is coming up with an affordable, like this is affordable, that is
Yeah, we're
not
not-
number.
We're not taking the average
Just the
rent
number.
of the
Okay,
facility.
okay, that makes much more sense, thank you very much. And just to shake things up, and because Chief is here and there's no one else in the audience waiting on something, I'm going to propose that we skip to item I, Edward J. Byrne Memorial Justice Assistance. And turn it over to either Mr. Hartunian or to Chief Hubby.
I'm just gonna take 30 seconds and thank the chief. Chief Hubby, Chief Collins Brown on our public safety team do a tremendous job of sourcing, applying, and have a high success rate when it comes to competitive grants as well as entitlement grants, and taking advantage of all the funding that's out there to help support our first responders, which we support fully. This is another example of that great work, and we're grateful that the chief was able to join us tonight, and Chief will explain a little bit more of the specifics around this one.
Thank you, Mr. Town Administrator. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So I'm here to ask you to favorably vote for the acceptance of two grants that I applied for. One is the Edward J. Byrne Memorial Justice Assistance Grant that comes about around every 2 years. And last year, a couple of years ago, we were very successful with the communications gap that we had at Masco. We got a $50,000 grant. They reduced the number this year, and I applied for $40,000. They reduced it to $30,000. And this is a sort of unusual ask. This is for the purchase of an all-terrain vehicle. One thing that we're lacking in the town, where we have the rail trail, we have the Audubon Society, we have the Bradley Palmer, where we have to go extricate a person that is injured in the woods where we can't have vehicle access. This vehicle can also be used for large-scale events in the town and also for the Topsfield Fair. So it's something I can never go to the taxpayers and ask for something of this ask, but it was very appropriate based upon the experience that we've had in extricating and trying to gain access to people with vehicles when allow us to get there. So we were very fortunate enough to receive $30,000 for that grant. The second grant is the FY26 Municipal Road Safety Grant. This is a grant that comes every year. We apply for it, we've been very successful since I've taken over as the chief of police. This year we were awarded $18,781.72. $3,108.68 will be used for the purchase of a pole-mounted speed indicator that flashes your speed as you're driving down the roadway. And then
Is this like the flashing sign right out here that's flashing at me every morning?
That's a speed trailer, but then we have these pole-mounted ones.
Okay.
That actually they're easy to mount, and it just is the speed indicator, it doesn't record anything.
And that's permanent,
No, they're movable.
they move, okay.
Yeah, this is why we like these smaller ones, because we can move them to a variety of different streets. We can change them up every single week to different locations. We had two, somebody stole one of us, if you remember.
Really?
Back on Surrey Lane.
That's a bad sign.
They cut the mountain bracket and stole the unit, so I don't know if it will have to surface somewhere. So I applied for two of them, I don't think they really liked the fact that one was a stolen, I'm trying to replace it, but they did give me a one replacement for
Can you-
that,
Bury a little tracker chip in it somewhere?
no. Not that we're aware of. So, and then the remaining money will be used for overtime for the 6 traffic initiatives that we do every year. We do a winter impairment campaign, we do the distracted driver, we do a seatbelt safety campaign, 2 speed enforcement campaigns, and then a summer impairment. So it really starts at in November, goes all the way through to September 15th, during that period of time, so. I ask for your favorable vote to accept those 2 grants. So thank you for your time this evening.
Can I ask a quick, so there's roughly $15,000 for overtime, right?
15, yes.
Yeah, does this displace indirectly any of the overtime that'll appear in the operating budget? Or is this,
This is above and beyond that. This is,
I thought you'd say that.
this is directly related to these traffic initiatives, so that they put out in the RFP or the grant process.
And the impaired driving enforcement in the winter, program in the winter, is that kind of centered around New Year's Eve?
It's all centered around the holidays from Thanksgiving, Christmas and New Year's, yes. And they're very specific, they want us to do all evening shifts, they wanna do Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, so it's not as liberal as the other ones where we could do them 24/7. They really specifically ask for us to be out on the road at the most high profile times.
Okay, so this is additional patrolling?
Yes.
Okay,
So what we do is this money is I allocate so many thousands of dollars for each traffic initiative. We take the highest overtime rate of the officer, we based upon that. And we'll probably put 10 4-hour shifts out there. And what the requirements are is they have to stop 12 vehicles in 4 hours and write written warnings, citations on each of them. So it's actually a very active campaigns. So it's not like they can just go sit on the side of the road and collect overtime, they actually have to have an initiative
It's very active.
for there. Yeah, 12 stops in 4 hours, so.
Can I do a ride along on that day? Cause my 4 hours didn't have anything happen, so. Move to accept the Edward J. Byrne Memorial Justice Assistant Grant in the amount of $30,000 to be used to purchase an all-terrain vehicle.
Second.
That one. Any other discussion? On the ATV, is there additional training that needs to be, do they need to be certified to
So we'll work with the
drive?
environmental police that we house in our building and they'll provide the training for our
They will,
officers free
okay.
of charge.
I'll do a ride along in that guy too.
You have to wear a helmet.
it's really not a
I
backseat on that one.
have several helmets, so
We're gonna go to the woods someday.
that's fine.
Alright, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? It passes.
Move to accept the FY26 Municipal Road Safety Program funds in the amount of $18,781.72 to be used for traffic enforcement and traffic monitoring equipment.
Second.
Michelle got it. Any other discussion?
I just had a quick follow-up on what Bob had said. Which I haven't told my, so if you didn't get this grant, would you still have those traffic campaigns? Like, would you still come to add them to the budget?
I would have to add that in additional overtime.
Yes, yes. So it is fair to say that this does help in the sense that we can still have the campaigns and it's not part of the budget, meaning it's a grant, so it does save us.
Yes, it saves a lot of money of overtime, puts more officers out on the road
Yes.
for, a lot of hours.
I always like to point that out because getting the grants is so important to supplementing our budget,
Yes.
so thank you very much.
Okay. Where was I?
Yeah, motion in a second, right?
Yeah, we did, so all those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Thank you very much, Chief. As
Thank
Kevin
you.
said, we really appreciate
Really,
the work and the additional
really
funding.
good, really
Well-
good work.
While we're at our first meeting on TV, even though it's not TV, it's a recording, thank you for everything that went on to make the fair go smoothly and safely, and for your emergency responses. It did not really turn out to be disruptive. So thank you for all that.
No, it was all basically having a plan, being able to execute it and watch it sort of unfold and you sit there and say, wow, it really worked. And we had minimal disruption of the fairgrounds, even though it was a highly stressful situation, potentially could have been catastrophic, but the outcome was positive. The fairgrounds were very appreciative, there was total cooperation of being able to lock down the fairgrounds, evacuate all the people from within the fenced-in area and be able to let us do our job safely and keep the public as, and that's the most important, public safe.
Great job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to move
I
on.
emailed you.
Neil, great job on those grant
Purpose of the
applications.
documents.
Thank you very much. Great job on those grant applications.
Thank you,
Thank
appreciate it.
You guys
Take the
did a
rest of
great
the day
job.
off.
See you later.
Thank you.
Bye, Neil.
Alright, stormwater review contract acceptance. For this one, I will turn over to Mr. Hartunio.
So this contract allows us to fulfill processes that we're changing when it comes to stormwater review through the planning board. It's actually a contract for the planning board, it's up, stormwater's through the planning board. And what it allows us to do is have a third party reviewer support our efforts when applications come in. Historically, there's been a little bit of money set aside to use either for a stipend to review stormwater within our organization. We've more recently gone to a third party to do reviews, which is more typical if a community doesn't have a town engineer or city engineer on staff. And so in order for us to save some money, to be honest with you, and be consistent with what other communities do, and consistent with its application in Topsfield when applications come in, our processes that we've worked out, and we have a flow chart we created, and we're creating a procedures document associated with that, is that somebody submits a building permit. If there's any exterior work, it gets sent to the administrative assistant to the zoning board of appeals and the planning board. That person will, by themselves or in consultation with the planning board chair, will make a determination if it needs a stormwater permit based on the regulations, which is 7,500 square feet of disruption, or if there's certain level of topography, 4,000 square feet of disruption, if it triggers that. If it's pretty obvious, it's a large subdivision or very minimal work, that can be decided by that initial review. If it's close and there's any question, we'll send that to our third party to make a determination if it needs a stormwater permit or it does not. In either case, whether it's through our third party reviewer, which is what's in front of you today, or if it's decisions made at the administrative level internally, if it is needed, there is enough disruption, the applicant will be notified they need to put a stormwater permit in place. At which time they'll have to put an application in, there'll be fees associated with that application to cover our cost. And an escrow account will be created through our accounting and finance team. At that point, our submission will come in, and our third party reviewer at this point will then do a full review of the application at a fixed cost. At which case, if it's complete, the engineer will make a recommendation to the planning board to approve the plan, deny the plan, or will request further information from the applicant, meaning additional work and additional costs and more money put into the escrow account to cover those costs. The whole team works, it's a very complicated process for one permit, but very important we get it right. And I think the key here is that we have the third party support going forward. For the most part, our costs associated now with stormwater reviews will be covered by the applicants, making it more equitable across the board. And we'll have a third party engineer independently reviewing the applications that come in as well. So in order to do all that, we have to have a contract. We did go out to bid on the contract. Again, because it's reimbursable, we actually don't necessarily have a significant cost. There is gonna be occasionally a $200 cost for that initial review on the close ones, which won't be recoverable from the applicant, but other than that, all the other costs should be. And we'll anticipate as much as a dozen at the most, and it should be significantly less on the ones that need third party review for just the initial, do they need a permit or not? And that's our exposure going forward, which is much less than what we've had in the past.
So the amounts beyond the $200, if any, are recoverable from the applicant.
That's
Did I hear
the
that?
process we've set up, and that's what will happen going forward. And the planning board's gonna modify at their meeting all of the votes necessary to modify their procedures as well as giving the chair authority to sign a escrow agreement contract with the applicant when the application comes in as well.
Okay, so this agreement, are you done? I didn't mean to.
Yeah.
This agreement has a contract price of $40,000, but the payments are by the job, how much work each job requires. So is this 40,000 like a blanket not to exceed for the period, the annual period?
It's
Is that
the high end estimate of what the contract might be. We don't think it's gonna come anywhere close to that. The vast majority of that, if not potentially all of it, will be recovered through the application permit fees that are associated with the application. So before, we would just pay an annual stipend to an employee who would review it and make the call and then work with the applicant through the process. That had a cost to the town to do that. This is a pivot to having a third party professional review it.
And you said we have about 12 a year, and if we were to spend that full 40 grand, that would be about 30 in a year, so it doesn't sound like we can get close to that, plus everything but the 200 is reimbursable, so
That's
that's a
right.
good deal.
Yeah, it's gonna help position the town. Again, it's savings to the town and it's more equitable for the applications when they come in. And we have now the pressure to put on the third party to say, hey, this is the priority, we have this timeline, turn it around type of situation. Cause in the past, we've had a DPW director or a highway superintendent who would review it, and before that, a board of health director, or after that, a board of health director, which they're focused on other things. And so they were able to get it done, did an adequate job, but this is a standalone, this is what this engineer firm does all day long. So it's more consistent with the type of work we're looking for. And I was saying, we did bid this out, this was the low bid of the three respondents that we did receive bids on.
Move to approve the contract between the town of Topsfield and Bobreck Engineering and Construction of Danvers, Mass. In the amount not to exceed $40,000 annually for services to assist in stormwater permitting and for the chair to sign.
Second. Any other discussion? My only question is if, say we had a year with 30 applications or whatever, we can just amend the contract that year, right?
I think
Cause we're not paying out, this is,
it's exactly, the 40s would be a really safe number for
Yeah.
us. I mean, maybe years in the future, I don't know what it's gonna look like, but talking with the planning representatives from the planning board and our internal team, yeah, 40 felt like a very, very comfortable number.
but low probability, if it did need to go over, we could just amend the
If
contract.
the contract requires it, we'd come back to you.
Right, exactly, so.
Or if, they happen at regular intervals, maybe we're recovering some of the money for the first half of the year by the time we get towards the limit, right?
But this is just how much we're paying to the engineering firm, regardless of where the money comes from.
Okay.
But conceptually, yes, Mr. Metz, that's the idea, is that we're gonna receive the money up front before we do any work. So when they put the application in, the application fee is $225, and then the review fee is gonna be either $750 or $950, depending on the how they're getting to the need for the permit.
But the point is the contract is with the town. The applicant writes that check to the town is basically turning that money out over to the engineering firm.
Yeah, so at the application, when the applicant is notified they need to do a stormwater, they'll fill out the application, they'll submit the proper checks, one for the application fee of $225 and one for the review. And that money then and a contract for the escrow will be signed by both the applicant and the chair of the planning board. And then that will be received, escrow set up, money put in escrow, soon as it's an escrow notification to the planning board representative, who will then notify the engineering firm to begin their work in doing the review.
Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, it passes. That moves us to the public hearing, new liquor license, Town of Topsfield Select Board legal notice, I'll read it. In accordance with Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 138, Section 15A, notice is hereby given that the Topsfield Select Board, as the licensing authority, will hold a public hearing on Monday, October 6, 2025 at 7 p.m. in the Select Board Room, Topsfield Town Hall, 8 West Common Street, Topsfield, Mass. 01983, to act on a request for an all-premises all alcohol beverage license by the following applicant, Paul Donhauser of Essex County Cellaring LLC, doing business as Alfalfa Farm Cellars, located at 267 Rowley Bridge Road, Topsfield, Massachusetts. That was published and signed by me, Raphael McDonald, Select Board Chair. As a reminder, we did vote and open that meeting on October 6th. So we don't have to open anything, the meeting is still, that is still open. And we have not gotten the recommendations, I believe ALAC did meet. We have not yet gotten the results of that yet. So I would certainly want to be continuing the public hearing.
Well, I'll move to continue the public hearing to November 3rd of 2025.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor of continuing the public hearing?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, we are continued. Whew. I feel like my feet are on fire right now.
No, you can turn the AC on.
Alright, that brings us to select board updates. Well, let me say that concludes new business unless somebody sees something that I am missing. Alright,
Are we gonna be
then
done in an hour?
take the
Oh,
wind
no.
Kevin's got a lot to talk.
I'm gonna take up at least 2 hours.
So that brings us
That's all
up to the select board updates, and why don't we just go in the usual order, Mr. Hook?
Well, I'll tell you what, it was a beautiful day to run the Topsfield Fall Foliage Classic. I'm sorry to say that one select board member fell under the weather and wasn't able to make it, but another one hustled back from the downtown Boston area and hustled around the course, beating me handily. Enough so that he was just sitting lazing about the playground when I huffed my way across the finish line.
But how can he beat you if you've got a first place
Because that's
winner?
from a different race.
Well, alright, you're jumping the gun here.
Yeah.
One of the members finished top in their age group though.
Top three.
Whatever, I didn't finish top 3.
Top three. Oh,
So-
did you finish top in your age group?
So he is amongst the board members, he placed higher.
Podium.
I did podium. But it was a beautiful race for a good cause, and I hope the birthday was worth it for those people who, you know, didn't show up.
My daughter still loves me, so.
Prospect Hill was still fun to run up, but much more fun to run down. So that was nice. We had a listening session on Saturday morning in which we, Mr. Metz and I mostly listened to each other. As well as a single member of the elementary school committee and a single member of the Masco school committee. It was a lovely conversation all around, don't you think? There were a couple people who accidentally wandered into our listening session at the very end. So we had a lovely 1-minute conversation with them before everyone went on their way. And as a resident of Parsonage Lane, since the question was asked today, yes, we are the place you come to trick or treat on Halloween. And it is not in any way, and I will allow any other people who live on Parsonage to correct me if I'm wrong, but
we not only don't mind the number of trick-or-treaters we get, I think we wear it as a badge of honor. We want as many people as possible from as many surrounding towns as possible to come park on Washington Street, park at Town Hall and walk down Parsonage Lane. Please don't drive down Parsonage Lane, but walk down Parsonage Lane. I already have 1,200 pieces of candy and I'm ready to buy more if need be.
So you're gonna tell the chief you're inviting the entire North Shore to your street?
No.
Yeah, 100%, come one, come all.
Don't you close Parsonage?
We do not.
Oh, bitter subject.
We do not, but we strongly urge people not to drive down that road. If you've ever seen any movie that features like a Halloween scene with hundreds of kids just running around, that's literally what it looks like. They are all over the place.
I'm coming
So,
by. When's Halloween this year? On a
it's on the
Friday night.
31st
Friday the 31st.
of October, as it often falls.
I'm gonna get my costume together.
What day?
Friday night. Party.
And with that, I conclude my my board member update.
Now, are you gonna be home on Friday night?
Of course. Of course, I'll be there. I have not missed a Halloween
Okay.
ever, really, and certainly not missed one.
That's good.
We have planned trips around being home, like, nope, sorry, we can't go, we'll have to plan it differently to make sure. I've taken the day off from work to make sure I properly represent on Halloween.
I mean, who knows what could happen in your house if you weren't there?
I mean, again, you've not seen the decorations that I lay out, so.
When's the first night we can see them?
Well, there's some out there now because I received a strong amount of pressure from some people in my family not to, as I have done every year in the past, put them all up and take them all down on day of. There are other people on the road who put some up and then I was guilted into throwing some up. So if you wanna drive down there tonight, I think there's
You
6 or
already got
7
them up.
inflatables. My
How many?
Halloween lights are in the
How
tree.
many in your yard?
6 or 7 right now. And the Halloween lights are in the tree. And anyone who's interested in outdoor illumination, programmable LED lights, leave them up all year and you just change the color. Those things were red, white, and blue on the 4th of July. They were a lovely set of pastel colors on Easter. I celebrated Mardi Gras, Florida State winning a national Florida, sorry Henry, winning a national football championship. Every holiday that came around, I changed the lights accordingly.
Perfect.
All right, now I'm done.
So you're like a virtual artificial intelligence center in terms of electricity consumption.
You're gonna see like in Christmas Vacation, the
They're
little
LEDs.
electrometer. So yeah, the lights are, yeah.
Mr. Metz.
So we did have a listening session and it's always good to remind people that we offer this every month on a Saturday. So anyone who's worried about transparency and not getting enough information, this is your chance. But we did have a nice exchange of information amongst the group of us. And I was happy to learn that when I came back from the 351 MMA conference last year, I learned about this PRISM thing and was haranguing everybody about it. And it turns out we got a $78,000 grant, PRISM grant, as partial reimbursement of the curriculum materials that we bought.
Oh, well done.
And in addition to that, some training and some consulting money. I didn't write down the name of the woman from, it was one of the curriculum directors from the school system handled the grant and got it. So congratulations to her and Andrew and the school committee for bringing this money in. And now we have to do is figure out how to book it when it arrives. But and we also have another addition to the people requesting that we get our meeting transmissions and broadcasts straightened out. I had a citizen stop me on the road and in the midst of chatting mentioned that they'd like to watch these meetings when they're available. So people do wanna learn about what's going on in the meetings if we give them a chance. And the 375th, I thought that was a terrific event. Good job by everybody that helped push it through, Kevin and Martha and a number of other people, and whoever signed up the fellow from Good Folk write that song about Topsfield, that they deserve a special commendation, as does he. And then lastly, it might not surprise you to learn that I've been thinking about this senior tax aid issue and realized that that what we were looking at, all these options we were discussing, were really kind of workarounds to a problem. And the problem is that these supplemental programs from communities and ideas for them have come up after they established the state program. And the state program very rightly says we want the formula based on paid taxes. But now, it would be in the state's interest, I think, and all our interest, if the state could change the law to add the exemptions under an approved similar municipal program, allow taxpayers to add those exemptions back for the purposes of calculating the state program, so we're not just substituting town money for state money. And that this would solve a problem that's kind of stands in our way to moving forward on this, and is a problem for other towns as well. So, in a uncontrollable burst of energy, I made a Zoom appointment with Bruce Tarr's legislative aide. And I was just gonna run through this with him and ask him if he thought the senator or anybody else would be interested in this. And that's Wednesday at in my calendar on Wednesday around midday. If somebody else wants to participate in the Zoom call, I'd be happy to have you join in. But I don't think we want 3, I think we want 2, because we're just kind of informally throwing spaghetti against the wall a little bit, to see if that's worth pursuing. I couldn't help myself. Saturday, I mentioned this to Bruce and he was open-minded about it. So I just wanted to bring that up. And maybe I'm running ahead of myself a little bit, but you know, I felt like there was an opportunity and there's nothing formally moving forward. It's just kind of testing the waters. And I think that's close, that's the end of my list.
So just to reaffirm, because at our work session last week, this would be soliciting the state to make a modification at the state level versus a home rule petition from us at this point. If the state pivoted and changed how they calculate income tax, for all intents and purposes, the circuit breaker piece of it,
Circuit breaker.
then there would, the issue that we've talked about, which was a threshold to even consider it, would potentially not be a barrier. Then it would just come up to the board whether there's still if there is an appetite to do a home rule petition, to go back to last year's proposal, which would be allowing for income-based assistance and abatements.
Yeah, and then prior to that, if people say,
Exemptions.
yeah, exemptions. If people say they're, you know, people being Theodore and or Ted saying, yeah, there could be some interest in this, then the next step would be bring that back here and see if we wanted to formally attach our name to that effort. That would be the next step.
But from an article standpoint, just nuts and bolts, if it's okay. Timing on that means we wouldn't do anything this year.
Right.
It would be at the earliest next year's warrant article that we put something in the event the state acted
Super quick.
super quick, to make a modification in their regs.
Yeah, and Marshall said at the listening session that it looked like we were pivoting to selling the programs we had more broadly, and we can still do that.
Correct.
You know, while all this stuff is going on in the background.
But we would table option B from the other night, option 2, which is modify existing MGL that we've adopted and maxed out on the benefits and see if we wanted to do further. We're still gonna do research. I talked to Mr. Metz about this, just to see what that looks like while Mr. Metz and the board look at pushing the state delegation
if
to
the
support a
state-
modification of how they calculate income.
If people say the state, well, you know, you're trying to herd 300 cats and this could take 5 years at best, then maybe we go back to Plan B, if the research supports it.
Okay, thanks for doing that, Bob.
Nothing to comment except for the fact that I thought the 375th celebration on Saturday went as nicely as I think it could have. I think the turnout was adequate. I was impressed with the number of people that were there. I would like to have had more. I would like to have seen more young people there. But the fact of the matter is, it was a nice celebration, and Raphael did a great job with his little speech and put it together very nicely.
Little?
Yeah.
Little speech. Could have been
And he
littler.
and he missed the whole page.
Yeah, no, I didn't think anyone was complaining.
But it was a very nice affair, and I'm glad it happened.
Oh, and as long as we're on TV, we should thank John Kinnon, who put a lot of effort into his historical
He
presentation.
did indeed, yeah.
Yeah.
And has 4 more to go.
Yeah, I wanna know what happened after 1705, wherever we left off.
Well, we got the report on the earthquakes.
Yeah,
And the witch trials, so.
that's all I have, thank you.
Again, I'll repeat what everyone else has said is in regards to the 375th, that was great. It was a great event, so thank you to you and the team that put that together. Upstairs was packed. I got up there and had to add a last row, and then other people came behind me, we had to add more rows, so there was a little competition between the max number of people up there for one of Tom Rose's events versus John Kinnon, so.
And trash.
Yeah, you're right.
Oh, and trash,
trash.
yes.
Did anybody sit in the balcony?
Trash.
You know, I kept looking up because there was a woman that was looking up at the balcony, but I couldn't see because I was in the last row.
You're not allowed to sit up.
I know.
What?
So it was packed. But for the whole weekend, you figure we had the 375th birthday, we had the road race on Sunday, and we had the ECTA Monroe Velo bike ride also on Sunday. As far as I know, all of them went off without a hitch, and we had gorgeous weather. So Topsfield was the place to be this weekend. 2 other things just to note. On Thursday, there is a state listening session on Chapter 70 funding, and that's at Masco for 4:30 to 6:30. And Chapter 70 is the primary funding program that determines how Mass distributes educational aid to cities and towns. So we haven't been getting as much as we would like, and this is our opportunity to go to Masco on Thursday between 4:30 and 6:30 to be able to listen to the state representatives and give feedback on that funding. And the last thing I wanted to mention is there's a vaccine clinic, which also is correspondence, vaccine clinic on Wednesday, the 22nd at Town Hall from 2 to 4. And that's it.
Alright, thank you. I did want to just circle back to the road race, the Medal Monday. The reason we're wearing these is to, now we've set a precedent, somebody has to podium every year.
Yeah.
So we're doing this in support
It's your
of
turn, Billy.
Yeah, my turn.
of Marshall there. We don't actually wear these around often.
Mine says first place, just to be clear.
Wanted to mention budget season is starting up. I know we started talking about warrant articles last week, but the schools have been reaching out. They're quite proactive in talking about very similar to what we have, which is way too early capital plans. They have, you know, they're talking about directionality, which is helpful, and they will definitely be coming to the full board and having those more formal discussions. But the whole budget process is very much on both school committees' minds. Also wanted to mention that there is a superintendent search committee that is forming. The Masco superintendent is not renewing his contract at the end of June. So there is a search committee. It's forming. I don't know much more other than the fact that they're trying to get participation in it. Likewise, our Tri-Town Union assistant superintendent is retiring, and there is a second search committee going on for that position as well. This is Mr. Greenberg's position, who we have probably interacted with most directly. So there is a search committee for, I think it's formed, it's through the HR, what's his name, Brian Cox Middleton is soliciting feedback, and I think he does have a committee, but he's looking for more feedback if anybody wants to give that to him. The 375th, I'm not going to beat a dead horse, other than to say, where I was, I couldn't hear very well the old Topsfield song that Lynn had on her phone.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Is there any way we could listen to that again and then decide
I
if we
don't
want to
know
put it?
if we ever need to listen to
I like the new one,
The new one?
yeah,
Dan Pilates?
yeah.
So I know that former select board chair and select board member Lynn Bermudez was the one who had that recording and held that up to the microphone.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure she could share with anyone here who's interested in it.
Alright.
To share that
I
with you.
can ask her.
missed that.
I can ask her for that. And let's see, that leads me to the last thing that I wanted to bring up, and this is actually more of a discussion than a select board update. We have what we refer to as a good problem when it comes to our ZBA replacement. Something we haven't dealt with before is we have more applicants than positions available. So we've been noodling on how best to fill the spot. We are, again, the appointing authority. We're looking for one new full-time member and 2 alternates. We have multiple people who have expressed interest and turned in applications. So what we're thinking of doing, and not set in stone, so again, more of a little bit of more discussion, is having kind of discussions over the next couple of weeks. It will be difficult, I think, to have a full 5 of us meet with 5 applicants or whatever. So I'm trying to gauge interest in who would be able and willing to be on a kind of a,
Nominating committee?
I don't know, I don't wanna call it a nominating, but be present and able to ask more detailed
Reviewing
questions.
I'll volunteer for that.
Sorry, so one of the things, I know we had talked about this last week as we saw what the applications were. As we've talked through sort of what the process, like we said, this is the first time this is happening. One of the suggestions that I want to make sure I brought up was trying to find a set time, not at the next meeting, but an alternate time where we can post a meeting, invite all the, that works for all the applicants. And ask the select board members, anyone who's interested, to participate so that there isn't anybody left out in those discussions. The concern would be is if we had those on the regular meeting, that meeting / interviews, it could prolong a meeting that's already gonna have a lot on it, including Caleb Group and a lot of other things. And so it'd probably be in the evening so that people can be available to it, and it would be a posted meeting that anyone from the public can join to listen in on the conversation, just like we would do if it was at the next meeting, but it's just basically a carved out meeting for that. And again, the idea there is that anybody can come in, if we have 1 person, 5 people from the select board, because we're not voting on anything, it shouldn't have any issues with a quorum. And so the questions and the conversation can still take place either way. That's an alternative to what we had previously talked about, Mr. Chairman, so I just wanted to put that out there as well.
And then I think in order to keep apples to apples, we would kind of be a little bit dry where we're asking all the same questions of the same, all the candidates, so they all have the same opportunity.
I'd work with you to probably come up with a handful of questions, and we would keep each candidate to say 15 minutes. If we have 4 candidates, that's an hour of everyone's time, maybe a little bit more than that. But just to get a little bit better sense of who's putting their name forward and what their interests are.
How many are there?
We're anticipating a 4th to come in and potentially a 5th.
How
Yeah.
many?
5,
Maybe
up to
5.
5.
Up to 5 potentially.
5 for 1 live and 2
Yeah.
backups.
And at least one of the people who applied has expressed interest on the alternate position, one of the 2 alternate positions.
Yeah.
So there's people who have identified not necessarily the full-time,
Or one or the other.
not a voting member, but still participative.
So this will not be a selectmen's meeting, it will be a meeting of those people that come and let us interview them, whoever is here to interview them.
It'll be posted.
Yeah, it'll be posted, but it'll be a meeting where we'll have a chance to interview those people and talk about why they wanna do it and that kind of stuff.
It would be very similar to if we had one applicant who comes in.
Yeah.
Only we would have set questions because we have more than one applicant coming in. Why are you interested? What is your vision for Topsfield? What is the role and responsibilities of being a member of the ZBA? A opportunity to glean a little bit more into the people that are coming forward. We have their applications, which are great, and we have some great applicants. And we really do appreciate people who step forward. We talk about this all the time, including on Saturday afternoon, how important it is to have volunteers step up. And it's really actually heartening to see this much talent and these many people interested in the positions. So just trying to create a little more formality around it. Now that, honestly, 5.5 years, I can only think of one other position that we've appointed that had more than one person coming forward.
Can I make a request?
This is a,
If,
I'm sorry.
can I make a request, if we do this, can we not do it on a Tuesday?
Well, this is one of the things, like, if we're gonna express interest, I mean, one of the reasons I didn't want to have everybody on it or need everybody on it is cause scheduling can be difficult. So, I don't see a reason we
So if you
couldn't
get two or
unless
three
nobody
people-
else is
If
available.
you get 2 or 3 of us there, you're set.
I mean, you could
To
always
drop in.
just shoot to do it on a Monday or a Wednesday when we're more inclined to generally be meeting anyway.
For
so.
Wednesday, since we moved our Wednesday meetings
Well,
to
that's why I said
Mondays.
Monday or Wednesday.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
You can also see if this Monday coming up might work for people, but
And we
what we'll
have
do
to
is-
make sure all the applicants are available as well.
It really, so it's kind of a little bit reverse order this time, like instead of setting that, cause people have busy lives, I think the majority of the people who are applying 3 of the 4 are fully employed at the moment. Probably have to be in the evening, and we wanna make sure we give everybody an opportunity to be at that meeting, so we probably try to push out, it might be not this Monday,
We have a meeting the following Monday.
not the following Monday, but the one between this and the next meeting.
That's a work session that we have.
So maybe we can do it prior to, or at the top of that work session,
So we could just do it on the 10th on the work session?
if they're available. And then we
Work
just make
sessions-
that.
And then
If
work
there's
sessions
5 of
are
them,
virtual.
Make that an agenda.
This-
item.
If there's
Sessions
5
are
of them,
virtual,
it's gonna
is
be
that okay?
very difficult to find one night where
I thought
all
we were
5
making
of
one
them.
session.
Well, we can start by picking a date and see if it works.
So I know we had a conversation a few weeks ago about doing work sessions in person versus on remote. I don't know if there's a preference for people on that.
For this, I think it would need to be in person.
In general terms, sorry, I'm
This
just kind
is
of
a big
pivoting.
enough deal, it should be in person,
This one for
in my
sure.
opinion.
I'm talking like long term, and I know there might be a,
Different discussion. I think for this in particular though, why are we looking at a work session? I thought we said this would be outside of what we currently have scheduled.
from a regular meeting perspective, that's what
Right.
I meant by that. I mean, we can do it another date if you want, it's just you already here. It's already on the schedule, it's already
Well-
posted, it would just be the first agenda.
Again, my biggest concern is we're adding an hour to an hour and a half on top of what we already have as an agenda. Which I don't know what's on that work session agenda, but I would not.
I guess the question is how many meetings versus how long you wanna sit in one time versus multiple times.
Correct. Do we have an idea of what is on that work session agenda?
I have to get the budget scheduled, but I don't think it's heavy, it might be just a review of capital.
If I may be so bold as to suggest, I think you started to suggest this, doing it in reverse, finding what dates would work for these candidates. And if one of them happens to be I think we'll be lucky to find a date that works for all of them.
I would guess.
But if we start by shooting for Mondays and Wednesdays, or I guess not Mondays if we have a regular meeting, but
Well,
anyway, I'm saying start by shooting to see what works for the candidates. And if we find one night that works for all the candidates, then that's more important than a night that works for all of us.
And is it worthwhile to have a base set of questions from all of us?
I think
first
it's
that
a
we
Oh
all-
yeah, I
That
think
way
that's
you-
not only, I think that we have to do
You know,
that.
four questions are the same and maybe one is different based on something that's specific to their resume.
So what I would like to recommend, if it's okay, is I'll work with the chair to put a set of questions together. Again, it'll be a very condensed, it's not gonna be like a full 20 questions like we would do for a department head interview. But it'll be get to know the person in a general sense of what their vision for the role is.
can we offer some suggestions for questions?
Certainly,
Absolutely.
certainly, I'd say just if you wanna, if this all works, what we're planning here, feel free to send me one or two questions that are particularly interesting that you'd like to see put on there and we'll try to work them in.
Yeah, cause next week, Monday and Wednesday are open. The week after that, Wednesday is open.
So that's how I would do it, is lead with we'd like to have everybody together on this Wednesday, whatever date that is. If you can't make it, please tell us what your availability is. Something like that, that way we
Yeah.
get our
I'd
preferences.
give them,
I'm gonna make it Sam's job.
Yeah, Sam-
Not that
Sam-
I have the authority to make anything anybody's job, but I'm gonna do it anyway.
Sounds really good
I
at it.
kind of assumed.
The other,
yeah, you can't ask them what dates are you, you give them a list of dates. And if they can't do the primary, then
I can do that.
Sam will figure it out, shut
Sam's
up.
got it.
alright,
Okay,
You
now,
haven't gotten Rosie's application yet, right?
No, not yet. I emailed her this afternoon.
Oh, you did, okay.
given that it's likely to be in the evening though, it's an open meeting, we have to have the cameras on, no?
Cameras
We
are
don't
not-
record work
Nope,
sessions.
we're just gonna post the meeting and we'll be probably in this room and the public's
Yeah.
invited to join us in person.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think, again, cognizant of this is after hours for certain employees, whether
Well,
they
Mondays
would
would be
need
great,
to
but
be here.
if we need to do it on a Wednesday, we will.
Okay,
Now, if there's
Which is
three
fine,
of
no, I
us,
mean that genuinely, like if the preference is a Wednesday, cause that's when people are available, then we'll do it on a Wednesday.
if there's
people
three
prefer
of us
Monday, we'll
here,
do Monday.
you gotta post it, right?
We're posting it either way.
post it anyways.
If you don't have, and if you have three or more, you have quorum, post a meeting. If you have less than three, because you're not gonna vote anything in that meeting, it's just a Q&A, you're not making decisions in that meeting, you can still have the meeting and the interviews.
You can't open up the meeting, so it's just a discussion.
It becomes a discussion.
Yeah. Because you don't even have quorum to open up the meeting.
Which is what we were concerned about, is if we don't have three, we still want things to move forward.
Alright, sounds like we have a plan.
Alright, so
Is it fair of me to ask who the 7 are, or the 5 are?
I think we should wait.
Can we do that yet?
not yet,
Not yet?
not
Okay.
yet.
No, but if anyone's watching, we're probably gonna ask that final applications for anyone else who's considering it be in by the end of this week.
Yes. Okay, and the last thing I'll ask of the board, it was mentioned, if you do have specific questions that you think would be relevant, let Kevin and myself know. Not guaranteeing we'll put them on the list, but if you don't offer it, it probably won't. My computer actually shut down because we were talking so long. That leads us to, well, let me just, the town administrator's report.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Start with town positions opened. We mentioned the school positions. That was covered and thank you for that. Those are two very important positions coming up. We also posted our primary treatment operator at the water department. We've got two positions. They both came available at around the same time. And one's been filled and we're looking for that second. So say it out loud in case anybody out there knows somebody or might themselves be interested in working for the town of Topsfield and have a certain level of water experience. Expertise. We would love to see your resume. It's a great team, great work, and we encourage people to put their names in if they're thinking about it.
this week we have more water to work with, so.
That's right.
A little bit more.
We did fill, we've officially have filled the position for the assistant clerk position. Assistant administrative position. Marie's gonna be starting on the 3rd, November 3rd. That's exciting, she was here today, getting some of this paperwork done. So we are outside the water department, staffed up in a pretty much across the board at the moment. Now that I said that, I'm gonna knock on wood. But we're really proud of the work the team's doing to bring really great people into the organization, people passionate, excited for the work, excited for the vision and being a part of something special, so grateful for the opportunity that we have to serve this community. We mentioned briefly budget capital warrant process, mentioned at the work session, I'll just reiterate some of those goals and where we're at. I've been meeting with the department heads relative to their capital, their budgets, what their expectations are. The capital is due back from department heads on the 22nd of this month, so this week. I'll be compiling and aggregating that and putting our 5-year capital plan out to the board ahead of our meeting, I believe on the sixth, when I said I was gonna submit it so that people have ample time to start reviewing it. It will correlate with what's available for free cash, cause we're already mapping out warrant articles, we know what some of those other fixed warrant free cash allocations are and we have left. So we're making smart decisions on how we appropriate those funds, but always making sure that we're appropriating for needs, not necessarily just wants. So that's something we look very closely at when we're deciding on capital, because if it's not capital, there's some other really important places like stabilization, offset the tax levy, there's other places that those funds can go towards, so working through all of that with the team. And then I'd also update operationally, the LED lights, we mentioned that's underway, we're at 25% completion as of this morning. They have said they'll be 100% complete by the end of the month, but it's been 3 weeks to get them to 25% and 2 weeks left of the month, so unless you're bringing more crews, which I'm not aware of,
Getting them to 25% is a big deal, so
Big
now we can move on.
so well, hopefully they hit their milestone. I like aggressive deadlines, cause it's something to strive for, so they're working
Is it a specific part of town?
all anywhere with streetlights, so they're bouncing around the different
No, the
areas.
25% that's been done?
I had the
Bouncing
list
around?
2 weeks ago where they were starting, haven't been able to get out, but you know, honestly, if you went for a drive through town, there's not that many areas with streetlights in Topsfield.
Yeah.
You'll notice them when you
That's
see
what I
it.
was wondering where they were,
I
yeah.
think my street was done, cause I was noticing it tonight in my drive over, the lights seemed,
Less orange.
yeah, they're bright.
They don't look like that right there.
I can't see that.
Either that or go to Marshall's house and get the
So we're working behind the scenes, this is nothing that anyone here will see or public will see for a little while, but we're migrating our website on Civic Plus to an upgraded version of it, allows more platforms to do more. We're being required to migrate, we have a very old back end software that they're utilizing, one of the few communities left. Like Topsfield, we're using it to the very end before we have to make the upgrade, and that's okay, but they're working through that. So more to come on that, as there might be some forward facing changes in the future, but not anything substantial.
I'll ask you to keep an eye on those communication channels, those new communication channels or those more effective. The email system in particular is something that we've been told we should be able to use, and that goes to our goals about additional communication avenues.
I've never had any problem with the existing email system, is there a problem that?
The website has a button that says for notifications, sign up here, and the old platform, because they've stopped supporting it about 1.5 years ago, actually doesn't work as you would expect currently. So again, we've been paying very little money for our website, but it's been functioning 85-90% of what we'd want it to do. But you know, times are tight, and we're very conscious of the budget, and now we're gonna factor in those costs associated with upgrading, but we held it long enough that they really want us to do it, so the costs has actually come down. So we held our ground for a long enough time where the service is gonna be better, costs went down from what they initially were gonna quoted.
Any chance we could steal an hour or two from those technologists and have them work on our broadcast system?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, no, we're gonna solve that problem, and it should be solved for, and people are more than welcome, it's not in live, but it will be up on the website in a matter of a day or two, if anyone does wanna watch the videos. If anyone's watching it right now, back 2 days from now, future me's gonna say, go ahead and
Back to the
keep
future.
watching it, yeah. But no, it's something that's been an outstanding issue that absolutely needs to be addressed. We're relying on those cable funds, which means that the cable channels need to be activated. Not for lack of effort, it's just getting all the right resources together at the right time to problem solve, and we're on it, something we talk about daily. Fortunately, I am not an expert when it comes to Comcast, so I can't unfortunately wave that magic wand, but we're working on getting the right people in the room. Speaking of technology, so last year at the Mass Municipal Association conference, there was a table of a startup company made up of Harvard and MIT students who I ran into. We started talking, had a lot of similarities around innovation, creativity, and utilizing technology to make our jobs better and easier. And about 2 weeks ago, they reached out saying, is Topsfield still interested in working with us? Not in the sense that we're gonna pay them money, but in the sense that we'll be their beta community. in helping them create a platform that will allow communities, it's specific for municipal purposes, can access a library of data and utilizing AI. They're gonna mine data on the open web for municipal policies and procedures that are publicly available, put them into their system, and then utilize AI when we put in for write a policy on blank, write a procedure on this, be able to write that in a matter of seconds.
It could be
The
useful.
difference is with the general AI, a lot of times it's very generic and not necessarily always hits the mark. We've actually experienced that with something, a report we were writing the other day, test driving it with some AI, and we've had to like kind of rebuild it. But this is intended to be a much better product for what AI can offer for municipalities. Excited to work with them because we always wanna be on the cutting edge, there's no cost to us. And they're gonna do a lot of work on the back end to try to create some policies for us that we've been trying to do anyway. Just haven't had the capacity to tackle. That includes public art on public space policy, trash can policies, definitive trash can policies, because as these start over the years to come, people are gonna have to say, how do I get a trash can? You go buy it. And then the other one is that we're talking about is going to be a banner and flag policy, which we talked about that as well. So there's a few out there. We talked to accounting department, they might have some as well. But really excited for basically the opportunity to be on the cutting edge and have a company that's really excited to work with us. And then basically help them get better at their work by allowing them to help us here provide those documentations that we need.
One of the good things about
Could be
doing,
fun.
one of the
Could
good
be
things
fun.
about doing that is, if they get, focus exclusively on public sector documentation that's available,
Mhm.
that's public from the, then you don't have to worry about copyright issues, accidental copyright issues.
Sounds right? Yes. No, but it's exciting. Very little commitment from us other than we're gonna work with them.
Yeah.
And we'll try to help them make their product better, and they're gonna give us some great documentation, and
It'd be good
honestly,
idea.
we get pitched all the time for software in the municipal space. It's very rare we actually jump on it because a lot of what people offer is just aggregating what you already have and just making it look pretty on the screen. This is actually creating something that we can now implement rather than kind of taking and aggregating existing data and just sharing, being able to access that data. So we're excited. We'll see where this takes us.
Would they be able to get that certain portion of our bylaws that are not easily accessible, more easily accessible?
That would, you're talking about the zoning bylaws, correct? Yeah, that would require us to get to a place of comfort from the appropriate boards and committees, as well as making sure our data that's already on the website is fully accurate before we commit to move that forward. So we talked about the office or the listening sessions for the select board. One of the things that the team and I were talking about this morning was how do we outreach and get in front of people, cause I also do office hours and I think I've had maybe 3 people come over the last year and a half. What's that?
I just wanna know where you're going with this, okay, we're good.
I was wondering, I noticed you were looking.
Give me a look.
I wanted to
She's
make
doing
sure,
shaking
I just wanted to make sure I knew where we were going with this, okay, we're
Yeah,
good.
There's a wall here fortunately, otherwise I probably would've got kicked. One of the things we're gonna do is we're gonna start doing some road shows, TA office hours, but not necessarily setting up here, but at places that we wanna go. Great Hill, Rolling Green, English Common, Amberwood, COA, and be available in
Like
those spaces so that people can easily walk across from their unit to come meet and talk about what's on their mind, questions they might have, and share really exciting things that we're working on, cause there are a lot of great things happening in Topsfield, whether it's on the financial back end, whether it's operationally, infrastructure, economic development. Love to share these opportunities. It really struck me when I was talking to a new member of a board recently. And moved to Topsfield a few years ago, young family, and sat down, introduced myself to say, I'm Kevin, this is what this process looks like, we're working on. And it turned into a conversation about all the things that we've been doing over the last 5.5 years together. And he's like, I had no idea this was going on. And
I talked to a group tonight that said, and I told them about our 375th birthday party. And they said, my God, I didn't know that was going on. And I said, well, it was probably on social media.
It was.
And I know that you did an outgoing on the telephone.
Robocall, yeah.
And so I said, well, there are ways that we do it, but there's always ways to get more information out there.
Yeah.
And that's what you're all about.
That's what we're trying to do, it's, you know, we talked about this, like, we got a great team, Stephanie Bellotti, Sam, Debbie, we sit every Monday and we talk about project updates, priorities for the week. And we had a really, really robust and good, we started early this morning, cause I came on my way in, I called and they said, I'm excited, let's talk early. So usually we go at 9, we started about 8:30. And we had a really great conversation about ways we can try to get more in front of people, because people are busy, people are living their lives. They're happy for the most part, I believe, what's going on, but it's such an opportunity and I love it more than anything else, to be able to share with people the great things our team are doing every day to deliver great services for this community.
That's really discouraging though, that people are telling you they didn't know about it. I mean,
It was in
we
the
made
stroll.
A big effort, right, to get the information out.
Robocall, website, social media,
No
on
matter
the
what
stroll.
you do, there are people that are not gonna be tuned in.
I know,
It's amazing.
discouraging and amazing.
And the
It
Stroll
is
magazine goes
discouraging.
to everybody's household unless you opted out, and I don't think there's many that have opted out
Well,
On that's on
on
what?
the Stroll magazine. It
Oh.
was in Stroll.
It was in Stroll.
yeah,
It was in a lot, COA put it out on their
yeah. Yeah.
library, put it on their social media too.
Oh, thank you.
We did have a great turnout though, it was a great
Yeah,
event,
no,
I'm
it
gonna
was
pin it
good.
right into 375. 375, big thank yous to so many people, a lot of them were named. I mentioned their names on the steps of town hall at the end of the flag dedication. It was a true team effort, everybody, Sam helped John the Thursday do a recording, helped set up the night before, so we were ready to rock and roll, thank you, Sam. And Debbie Morong in my office as well, the volunteers, Martha Morrison, Liz Mulholland, John Kinnan, Bruce Spalding, Lynn Bermudez, and there was many others, police department, fire department, library that were involved, so great event. I think one of the things, and I'll end on this with the 375 part, I got a couple more updates, but on 375, one of the nicest things I heard was, I got a text message from a resident in town who said, feedback wise said, it was a Norman Rockwell painting come to life, which was pretty cool.
Isn't that cool?
And it's kind of cool because it's not the first time I've heard that. We did the ice rink. I remember I heard a couple
okay.
people said the same thing. They said the ice rink feels like a Norman Rockwell photos or painting.
So it was 12 hours when it worked.
First year, it was up there a lot more than 12 hours. First year, we had a police versus kids hockey game one Saturday or something.
We had an opening event with Masco Youth Hockey.
Yep,
President.
hot chocolate.
Anyways,
Well, it would be nice if it got cold enough this winter to have ice.
Yeah, it'll get cold enough, it just has to be more
Last
than
year
a
it
couple
didn't
days.
hardly froze at all, yeah.
Just on the fair wrap up, we did talk about that. Chief said no arrests, no summonses, nothing to that effect. We had 18 transports for the fire department, which was high on the higher end, partly because it was warmer. We had a lot of bee stings.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was interesting. So, but nothing overly critical. But you know, the team did an amazing job. It's such a large amount of work and undertaking for our public safety team, fire and police, but also our board of health, our building department. Many people behind the scenes to help make sure that the event's safe and successful. Also appreciate the partnership with the fair and the work that they do, working with us. It allows everything to come together, allows Chief's plan and the rest of the team's plans to work when there's a good line of communication, which there is, and so we appreciate that partnership. And again, 207 years of the fair now under our belts, and we're looking forward to 208 next year. And then I'll mention Trunk or Treat, sponsored by the TESPO. It's gonna be on the Common from 4 to 6 on this Saturday, and then the Trunk or Treat, that is an annual event that they've been doing for about 4 years. Pretty good time. They people decorate their cars and they open up their trunks and they give candy out of the trunks. It sounds really sketchy, I know, but it's not. It's legitimate. It's all looked at prior to, obviously. We invited people to come. It's a fundraiser, so there's a recommended donation associated with participating, but Tiespo does a really great job on that, and thank you to them as well for the help on the 375.
They had a booth over there.
They did. And then Halloween is Friday, October 31st. Anticipate, haven't had a chance to confirm with the chiefs, but last year 5 to 7, assume the same time frame. We will push out a robocall, we will push out on the website, we will push out on social media. All the usual places for those who are looking for that information. Letting people know those specifics. And
Now, back up just for a moment, who gets a robocall?
Anyone
Everybody?
who's signed up for a
so
road.
if you have a home line or you sign up your cell phone, you're on the list.
So if you have no landline and you don't sign up your cell phone, you don't get it.
You don't receive it unless you sign up.
But you do, yeah, it's something you have to opt into.
Okay.
We
But if you got a landline, it's automatic.
That's my understanding. I think it was 2,800 people signed up to the robocalls currently, whether it's automatic subscription because you have a landline or
That's a pretty good,
opt-in from the
pretty
cell
good
phone.
number.
Some of those are gonna be multiple
Less than
households,
half of the town.
Well,
and some of the, and some, less than half, but some of those will be couples, people living together, things of that nature, so it's not reaching everybody, but it's reaching a good portion of the community, which is nice. I do get that feedback a lot of times when I meet people the first time, like, oh, I've heard your voice. It's like a guy on the radio, right? Works out well. And then lastly, just say for events, we still have a lot of events coming. We had our department head meeting this morning, both the COA and the library. Recommend going to their social media pages, to their home pages. There's a lot of concerts coming up, a lot of events coming up. And they're doing a great job with creating opportunities for people to enjoy anything from art classes to crafting to historical analysis of periods of time. But thank you to the teams that are doing those work, because there's a lot really great participation and we appreciate the opportunities. And with that, I will conclude my town administrator updates, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Alright, thank you. Want to point people to some correspondence. The vaccine clinic was mentioned, and a couple of thank yous to the fire department. I hope they're keeping a list, cause their numbers keep going up and up. One of them actually related to bee stings as well. And that is what, nothing about TV stations, but that's what's on
That's
correspondence.
Wednesday. This vaccine clinic, do you know what kind of COVID vaccine it is?
I do not. The Board of Health would know
Okay.
though. Okay,
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
any discussion on the motion to adjourn? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? We are adjourned.